Well, the other top story that we're looking at 5 o'clock is team coverage of Ohio's primary election. Big day today. The nation is watching our races with keen interest, especially the Republican primary in the state Senate race. Mark Namick is going to be along to explain all of that in a bit.
And Lena Lai is live at the Board of Elections covering the races for governor.
But first, voting got off to a rocky start in Cuyahoga County this morning. Some polling locations had technical problems for about an hour and a half, which led, of course, to frustration for voters who, as you know, in the morning are on a time frame. Neil Fisher joins us live now to talk about the issue and how it was handled. Neil, what's it looking like right now where you are? Any problems?
Hey, good evening. Those who are coming to vote right now are having a totally different experience than those who did about 12 hours ago. The process is running smoothly right now, but again, 12 hours ago this morning, they were having problems at the polls. The director of the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections told us today that the problem revolved around checking voters in at the polling centers. They say there was no problem with the device used to count the actual ballots. The frustration of voters came when it started taking a lot of their time. Some voters waiting almost 2 hours to vote. Voters telling us today that employees at multiple locations told some voters to leave.
We're telling everyone to go home, that the precincts were not organized appropriately and they didn't have information. And they were telling everybody to go home and come back later once they figure everything out.
The Secretary of State and the Board of Elections told us today that it was unacceptable for voters to be turned away from polling centers. But for those that did, they have to return by tonight for their ballot to be submitted. Now, these polling centers are going to be open until 7:30 tonight. At that time, if you want your ballot to be counted, you need to be inside the polling center and checked in. Jay?
Yeah, Neil, I agree with you. It is unacceptable, really, that people would go to vote and be turned away, told to return later in the day. Any idea how many folks were instructed to leave and come back?
We know there were several voters that were turned away at least 2 different locations out of the 288 polling centers in the county. So, of course, a number of them, but just a small fraction of the votes that may not be in at this moment. Jay?
All right, very good. Neil Fisher live tonight on What's New. Neil, thanks.